Let's talk about your efforts at trying to help the elderly in the movie industry. That was very commendable what you did the last time, and I'm wondering how far you've gone with the that you put in place the last time. Has it yielded results, or what has been the review?
Well, it's when I first started, it didn't have so much impact, or it didn't. A lot of people did not really understand the motive behind it. Maybe because of the fact that when you say humanitarian work, it has been abused in Nigeria. So it's something that when I thought to myself that Foluke, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this in Yoruba. Adan tama danle omualeni. The truth of the matter is, the people, those elderlies that I'm supporting, they are the ones that actually impacted their time, their passion to build what we have today. A lot of them didn't think that it was going to think they're going to turn out like this. And you know, the kind of industry we find ourselves is not one that we is pensionable, and because it is not well structured. So a lot of people were not thinking, unlike they were not thinking about the fact that, okay, when I grow old, hope I won't have this issue, hope I won't have that issue. You understand? Yeah. And I'm pretty close to a whole lot of them. And a lot of them will ask me and my daughter, please send me 2,000, send me this, send me that. You understand? And a lot of them are people that I look up to, that I love so much. So I told myself that, Foluke, even though you don't have all these monies, you can try to build a team of people that can support these elderlies. Because what they are going through is someone that has spent the better part of his life trying to put smiles on the faces of people all around the world, not only restrictive to Nigeria. That person now going through so much suffering is a form of abuse. It's a form of abuse. So I told myself, okay, I will do this. And guess what? When I had that event, the expectations was high, but it didn't turn out that way. I spent so much. The expectation that, okay, I'll get support here and there, it didn't turn out. In fact, the day that I finished that event, I busted into tears. And I told my friend that, God said, this is real wahala. I'm in for it. But when I now got home that night, I was so low. I was telling God that, God, why did you place this thing on me? As in, I would have just been on my own lane without stress and everything. And I slept. But the next morning, people started calling me, praying for me, calling me, praying for me. And I thought to myself that this is the reason why God actually placed this in my heart. Even though I might not have made all the monies that I've spent on the project, but the fact that people are more aware, people now support these old people in their own way, people celebrate them now, and a lot of our elderly, what actually kills them or makes them fall sick is not because of the fact that they really want to fall sick, but the kind of environment we are, the kind of industry we are, is one that when you go to location, you can't think. Your guy will say, Nirori. Everybody will laugh, will joke, will share food, will eat everything, will have fun, and you won't think about anything. You understand? I do. But when you just find out that everybody has forgotten you and then you are not relevant anymore, that is a form of depression and so on. So I told myself that even the ones that are doing well, that have money, I still go to celebrate them. Because the moment I go to celebrate them, people will see them and know that, this person is still alive, this person is this person is that. And it fills my heart with so much joy when I see the smile on their face, the smiles on their faces, and the fact that I'm bringing them back to the consciousness of Nigerians and the world at large.
So how do you see the state of the industry today? The state of the movie industry?
Well, I would still say it's still growing. even though it should have gone past this stage of growing this like the snail in the snail form.
Yeah.
Though we have some people that are making a whole lot of difference, trying to put it on track, but because the industry is not as structured as ought to be, there's a problem in that. And also the fact that some people are just capitalists, that the capitalists are more in our industry, and when you are too much of a capitalist, creativity drops. So at the end of the day, it's for us to build the people that really values and understand the creative industry, and let those people be the investors and build a stronger, formidable structure on ground. If you are Tampan, build your force to be stronger. If you are Nantap, build it stronger. But it's still growing. We believe that it's going to get better.
Okay. Talking about I mean, the industry and your own role. What have you been able to? I know you've done a lot in the past in terms of, I mean, what you've been able to achieve and all of that. But talking about now, do you still are you still fully involved in the I mean, in terms of going to location, in terms of taking part in movies, and it's also in terms of you producing your own movies?
Yeah, I'm still involved. It's just that I'm more of a business-minded person. For me to do a movie, I have to be able to understand where I'm going to sell the movie to, how much I'm going to make, give or take. You understand? I wouldn't do a movie because everybody is doing a movie. You understand? And for the movie industry, some people will just do movies because they want their faces on the screen, because they want to be popular. You understand? And when you are still posing that I'm not going to take that money from you, somebody will say, "Don't worry, Mr. Producer, I'll do the role for you for free." So at the end of the day, it's like it's becoming too flooded.
Okay.
And so it's very difficult to remove the professionals from the true professionals, from people that just rushed in. Yoruba will say asawo. You understand? For people that the true people that values our profession, the creative, and say that they want to make a profession of it. You understand? It's difficult. But in terms of fulfillment, I wouldn't say I'm close to being fulfilled.
Okay.
Because I want to make bigger pictures. I want to make pictures that will make Hollywood. And I'm one person that I'm a perfectionist. And I also think beyond the surface. So for me, I look at things that can actually make a difference to my generation. I just want to make the regular kind of movie that every other person is making, and they're saying, okay, interesting, fine, you might have good stories, but how can I make a picture that will make magic, that would change people's orientation? You understand? Those are the kind of pictures I am looking at making in future. So I'm not fulfilled yet.
Okay. But having been involved in the process up to this point, don't you think there's still a need to put in a lot more in terms of investment for you to be able to achieve the kind of goal that you set for yourself?
Yeah, of course, there has to be investment. But, as a good businessman, you would not put your money where you are not sure of making it back at least double. So I am a strategist. I would not just say I want to do a movie because everybody is doing a movie, or because I want to make a statement. I will do a movie because I know that a 50-50 chance that I can still make a 10% or 15% profit. But when you're not even sure of that your movie is going to make money, for whatever reasons, maybe the environment, maybe the quality of production, maybe the marketing is restricted, you will take your time to understand the market and be able to say, okay, this is where I'm going to, this is where I'm not going to.
Okay. But like, how many have you done in the past? Let's talk about the ones you've tried your hands on.
The one that I've produced or I've acted in.
That you've produced.
I've done quite a lot. I've done both English and Yoruba.
Okay.
I started out with Tanikin Fair. That was 2003. That was for producing. And in 2005, I directed my first movie when I was pregnant with my first daughter. And then I've done a whole lot. I've done Oreo Jory. I did Tag Team. That was a TV series that features late Uncle Yomi Obileye and Mr. Yemi Sholade or Tuma Yemi Sholade. I did some English movies recently. I did Kimberly's Nightmare. I did Mask. I did Mosque. I did Cobwebs that won an award from your outfit, from your organization. I did. I've done a lot. I
Which one do you
really
find,
lost count of movies I've produced.
okay, which one do you find easier to act in? The English or the Yoruba movies? Which one do you feel at home?
I used to find the English more suitable for me because it just like acting what I know how to do best. Funnily, lately, the Yoruba, maybe because I had to mix Yoruba and English, so I find it a lot of people say, your English is more than your Yoruba, your English is more than your Yoruba. So now I have to learn to do more talk more in Yoruba than English when I'm doing Yoruba movies.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do something now. I want to be different from what everybody knows me to be. I want to do a picture and I want to create an entirely different entity from who everybody believes that Foluke is. But I would say that I find the Yoruba genre for a while more challenging, especially when I first joined it.
Okay. Okay. I've also noticed that you seem to have a flair for intellectual things that challenge you intellectually, and I'm wondering how did you develop that part of you?
Maybe because I'm a depth person. I'm one person that thinks beyond the surface. For any incident that happened, I do not base it on what I see physically. I had a meeting with the former governor of Oyo State, Mr. Otuma Ajumobi. I don't know his first initial, but
Senator Ajibola, Senator
Ajumobi. So I had a meeting with him. That was his first tenure. We took a proposal to him, and when we took that proposal to him, I went with my team to defend the proposal. When we went to defend the proposal, he said something that I picked, and I used it for whatever I need to use it for. He said, you guys understand what you are here for, and I see you guys are really, really in the project, because for any proposal defense that I go for or people come to me for, I listen to what you are not saying. And I picked that from him. And ever since, that was his first tenure. And I discovered that if you are a depth person and if you really want to move ahead of your peers, you try to listen to what people are not saying. So when you are saying, yes, I'm here, you actually mean no. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So for me, for anything I do, like the movie industry, when I had my premiere, when I had Wakati at that premiere, I had foreseen the fact that the movie industry was going to crash because of the pace it was going. You understand? You know, Yoruba will say, "Lucio Sofiko Seshe." When it's like a bad wagon of, okay, just doing this, over time it will crash. And one thing that is very, very bad with us Nigerians is the fact that when we see something and that thing is making a headway, everybody rush there. And when that thing is crashed, they leave to look for another thing. Though I don't blame people, because it's just called survival instincts. But the truth of the matter is, for me, because I'm a deaf person, for anything I do, like for instance, this rape thing that everybody is now talking about it.
Yeah.
I founded Para about 2012. Well, when I started talking about rape. So I had the depth to understand that this was going to be a big problem, but we should try and nip it in the bud. But people did not understand where I was coming from. In fact, when I granted that interview the first time, people were asking me that, Foluke, what were you thinking? And I was like, so it's wrong for me to go out and interview that I was raped? Because people do not, actually, we do not take cognizance of the true things that we're supposed to take cognizance of. So a lot of times for me, if I'm moving with you as my friend, if I'm doing business with you, I'm doing anything with you, I do not look at it from the surface. Even when I want to have a relationship with the opposite sex, I look at you from the depth value. What is going to come out of this in the next 10 years? What is going to come out of this in the next 15 years? I've had interactions with you, sir.
Yeah.
And I must say that I see you as that kind of person that builds projections. In the West, they build projections.
Yeah.
They don't base their things on God will do it. God will do. You hardly hear that.
Yeah.
But in this part of the world, in Africa, we put a lot of responsibility, quote and unquote, to God. Meanwhile, God has told us He has given us power to dominate.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, for me, if you are not a depth person, we cannot flow, because we will not be flowing at the same pedestrian. And it has always worked for me, because I'm always a step ahead of whatever games that I'm playing. And I've been wired like that, like forever. Maybe because I lost my father when I was very young, so I had to do a lot of stuff on my own. But somehow, I just find myself that I'm always very proactive to everything I do. And I kind of like it like that, sir.